Sending signals. Eleanor Harper lived in a world of isolation. At 34, she had perfected the art of solitude in her cramped Brooklyn apartment, a fifth-floor walk-up overlooking a perpetually noisy street. By day, she worked as a freelance editor, poring over manuscripts from authors who spun tales far more vibrant than her own life. By night, she read voraciously, losing herself in psychological thrillers that mirrored the quiet unease she felt, but could not quite name. Friends had drifted away after her messy divorce 5 years ago, and family, well, her parents were gone, and her brother lived across the country, their calls sporadic and superficial. Eleanor didn't mind, or so she told herself. It started subtly, as these things often do. One crisp autumn morning in October, she found a single red rose tucked into the handle of her apartment door. No note, no card, just the flower, its petals velvety and fresh, dew-kissed, as if plucked from a garden moments before. Eleanor stared at it, her heart skipping a beat. A mistake, surely. It was meant for the young couple downstairs. But she lived alone, and the building super confirmed no deliveries had been logged. She brought it inside, placing it in a glass of water on her kitchen table. That evening, as she sipped herbal tea, the rose seemed to watch her, its scent filling the room like an unspoken whisper. She dismissed it. Coincidences happen. But the next day, while scrolling through her email inbox, cluttered with work queries and spam, an anonymous message appeared. No subject line, just a single line of text. A rose to match your lips. Eleanor's breath caught. Who knew the colour of her lips? She hadn't posted a recent photo online in months. She checked the sender, a string of random characters from a disposable domain. Spam, she thought. But her fingers trembled as she deleted it. That night, sleep evaded her. Was it a prank, an old flame resurfacing? Or worse, her imagination now playing tricks born from too many lonely evenings? The signals, as she began to call them, escalated. A week later, walking home from the corner bodega, she noticed a chalk drawing on the sidewalk outside her building. A simple heart with an E inside. Rain had smudged it slightly, but it was unmistakable. Eleanor knelt, touching the powdery residue. Kids, perhaps. But the street was lined with offices and empty lots. Children were rare here. She snapped a photo on her phone, then erased the image with her shoe, feeling foolish. Inside, she Googled anonymous admirer signs, but the results were trite. Articles about secret crushes and rom-com tropes, nothing that explained the knot in her stomach. Doubt crept in like fog. Eleanor had always been prone to overthinking. Her therapist, Dr. Miriam Hale, whom she saw bi-weekly via video call, attributed it to post-divorce anxiety. "You're projecting desires onto the void," Dr. Hale had said during their last session. "Loneliness can manifest in hallucinations of connection." Eleanor nodded then, but now those words haunted her. Was she imagining these things? Maybe the rose could have been wind-blown from a nearby florist. The email simply a targeted ad glitch. The chalk, random graffiti. But deep down, she felt watched, a prickle on her neck that no rationalization could erase. As days turned to weeks, the signals grew more personal. One evening, turning her radio to a classical station for background noise while editing a manuscript, a dedication interrupted the symphony. "To Eleanor in Brooklyn, from someone who sees your light in the dark." The DJ's voice was cheerful, oblivious. Eleanor froze, her pen hovering over the page. She called the station the next day. Yes, requests were anonymous, paid via app. No details on the sender. Coincidence? Well, her name wasn't uncommon, and Brooklyn was vast. But the phrase, "your light in the dark," echoed a line from a poem she posted on her obscure blog years ago, before she locked it down. She confided in no one at first. What would she say? "I think someone's flirting with me through the ether." Her brother Mark would laugh it off during their rare calls. Friends from her old life had faded, their social media updates a reminder of her detachment. Instead, Eleanor journaled obsessively, documenting each incident in a leather-bound notebook. Signal number 4, billboard on Fifth Avenue, ad for coffee with "Wake up to what's meant for you," E. My initial or generic. She walked miles to verify, staring up at the massive sign until passers-by gave her odd looks. The enigma deepened. Parcels arrived, unmarked boxes left at her door. Inside one, a vintage locket, empty, but engraved with "Always watching." Eleanor's pulse raced. She wore a similar one as a child, lost long ago. How could anyone know? She pawned it, but the money felt tainted. Another box held a book, The Watcher in the Woods, a thriller about obsession. Dog-eared pages highlighted passages on hidden desires. Eleanor read it in one sitting, her apartment lights blazing against the night. Paranoia set in. She varied her routines, taking different routes home, shopping at new stores, but the signals adapted. A flyer slipped under her door advertised at a local art exhibit. Visions of Eleanor, portraits of solitude. She attended, heart pounding, scanning the crowd for familiar faces. The paintings were abstract, swirls of colour, evoking loneliness, but one bore a resemblance to her silhouette. The artist, a reclusive type, claimed inspiration from urban muses. Eleanor left shaken, wondering if she'd posed unknowingly in her mind's eye. Dr. Hale noticed the change during sessions. "You're agitated, Eleanor. What shifted?" Eleanor hesitated, then spilled it all. The rose, the emails, the radio. Dr. Hale leaned forward on screen. "This sounds like apophenia, seeing patterns where none exist. Your mind, craving connection, is weaving narratives from noise." Eleanor wanted to believe her. She upped her meds, practiced mindfulness. But that night a text from an unknown number. "Don't doubt what's real. I'm closer than you think." She blocked it, but sleep brought dreams of shadows at her window. The solitary woman began to unravel. Mirrors reflected a stranger, bags under her eyes, hair unkept. Work suffered, edits came back riddled with errors. She installed a doorbell camera, reviewing footage obsessively. Nothing, until one clip showed a figure pausing at her door, hood up, slipping something underneath before vanishing. The note read, "Your solitude is my canvas. Paint with me?" Eleanor called the police. The officer held the note, which was for an art class. He sighed and gave Eleanor a dismissive look. "No," she protested. "He knows I'm alone. He's taunting me about my solitude." The police officer smiled and said there was nothing in it, and then lectured her on home security, but Eleanor was not listening. Isolation bred invention. Eleanor imagined the sender, a colleague from her past, jealous of her independence, her ex-husband, remorseful and scheming, or a stranger, fixated from afar. She scoured social media, reverse image searching the locket, tracing the radio station's IP logs through amateur sleuthing. Nothing. In quieter moments, she wondered if Dr. Hale was actually right, if her mind, fractured by years alone, conjured these signals to fill the void. "Am I losing it?" she whispered to her empty room. Then came the escalation that blurred reality entirely. On a stormy evening, power flickering, Eleanor's laptop pinged with a video call from an unknown contact. She accepted, curiosity overriding caution. The screen showed static, then a masked figure in shadow. "Eleanor," a distorted voice said, "I've been sending you pieces of myself. Do you feel it?" Her blood ran cold. "Who are you?" she demanded. Laughter echoed. "The one who knows your secrets, like how you cry at night wishing for touch." The call cut. She slammed the laptop shut, hyperventilating. Had she mentioned that in therapy? Or was it paranoia? She confronted Dr. Hale next session. "Is this you, testing me?" The doctor looked appalled. "Eleanor, this is projection. We need to adjust your treatment." But doubt festered. Eleanor hacked her own email, child's play with online tutorials, and found no trace of sent messages to herself. Yet the signals persisted. A song on her playlist, shuffled randomly with lyrics about hidden love. A neighbour's dog barking in Morse code. Wait, was that her imagination? She learned Morse, translating, "I see you." The climax built over weeks. Eleanor barricaded herself, ordering groceries online, but one delivery included an extra item, a key, antique and ornate, with a tag, "Unlock the Truth." It fit nothing in her apartment. Frantic, she searched her belongings, finding an old trunk from her parents' estate. Inside, forgotten letters from her mother, confessing an affair. Eleanor's world tilted. Was the sender a half-sibling, a scorned relative? Driven to action, she traced the key to a local storage unit, rented anonymously. Inside, walls plastered with photos of her. Daily life captured, walking, reading in cafes, sleeping through the curtains. A journal detailed her routines, interspersed with love poems. At the centre, a mannequin dressed in her style, a note pinned, "Become one with me." Terror gripped her. She fled, calling the police en route. They raided the unit, finding it empty, save for a mirror reflecting her horrified face. Vandalism, they suggested, but Eleanor knew better. Or did she? The twist unravelled in therapy. Dr. Hale, reviewing notes, paused. "Eleanor, these signals, have you considered they're from within?" "Within? What do you mean?" "That it is you. You are creating these signals, but forgetting you have done so," offered the doctor. "Don't be ridiculous. That would make me crazy." "I'm not crazy," bristled Eleanor. "You know I never use that word." "No, you just insinuate it." Her therapist opened her mouth to speak, but Eleanor had a revelation. "It is you. You are doing it. Everything I tell you, you then use against me," she declared. "Eleanor, please," protested her therapist. "Stay away from me. You are sick. You are meant to help me," railed Eleanor as she stood up and fled the consulting room. She raced home, and as she entered her apartment, she saw an envelope on the floor of the hallway. It was addressed to her. She tore the envelope open and read the note within, which was sent by somebody called Elias. "Elias? Who's that?" she said to herself. "Is this who is stalking me? Elias?" Her eyes returned to the note, and she silently mouthed the words neatly written on the paper. Eleanor stared, wondering. Was this the truth, or another layer of deception? It was then she noticed that the note was written in handwriting which looked most familiar. "He's copied my handwriting," she cried in alarm. "He's trying to send me over the edge. He's trying to erase me. I'm not trying to erase him. He wants to erase me," she cried as she dropped the note and brought her hands to her face as she began to sob. The note drifted to the floor and lay face up. Eleanor's handwriting was there, bearing the message, "I am you, loving the parts you neglect. Don't erase me. Elias."